Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday's edition of Take 5 Advent. I'm here with my friends, and we're here to reflect on the coming of Christ at Christmas time. 4 weeks we're going to spend of looking at Jesus and the titles that Isaiah gives to the coming Messiah. And our desire is to make these titles a devotional reflection preparing us for Christmas. Okay? Wonderful Counselor, that's what I'm doing. Then we're going to look at Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. So today I'm going to begin. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to just look at the various nuances of Jesus' title of Wonderful Counselor. You could go a lot of ways with that. I don't know if you've ever seen a counselor. Most of us have, and we know what counselors do. I have a psychologist friend who is as wise as they come. He's a wonderful, great, wise counselor. And so I go to him often. He's a good friend, and when I have a big decision to make, I bounce it off of him because I need his perspective. I need his wisdom. When I'm feeling, a little down or maybe even confused, I go to my counselor friend because, again, his words, his experiences, his compassion are what I need when I'm feeling down. He is a good counselor. I hope you have somebody like that. Many world leaders have all kinds of titles, chief of staff or counselor to the president. Most world leaders have somebody right next to them that is giving them wise counsel. George Bush, the first George Bush president, he had a man named John Sununu who was his wise counselor. Of JFK, President JFK, he relied on his father a lot, and then on his brother, Robert Kennedy, as well. The kind of counselor the leader needs is the confidant that can give advice on weighty matters, on life issues. That too is what a counselor does. And then here at the church, when someone needs a little infusion of hope or advice on their marriage, people often come to the pastors of a church to get a bit of counsel, a bit of advice on what do I do next. So Isaiah, in his prophetic wisdom, describes God's Messiah to us as the wonderful counselor. The Savior of the world, the King of the universe, is also very, very personal in the point that he is called a wise counselor. Think about it this way. The dilemmas that you face, the problems of our society, the very brokenness of the world and of mankind are not too complex for this wonderful counselor. That's who Jesus is. He is the wonderful counselor. He can help us see hope in a hopeless situation. I don't know if that's where you are today. He can give us the wisdom and encouragement and help that we need when everything looks totally confusing. Like a counselor, he can point us to a place of rest, of peace, of resolve. When a couple come for marriage counseling, often what they need is not just words of wisdom, but a plan. Okay, here's what you ought to be doing now. And for the next 3 months, here are the things that you ought to be thinking about, and here ought to be your plans moving forward to improve where you are in your soul and where you are in your marriage. As a wise counselor, as a wonderful counselor, Christ devises a plan for our lives and for our salvation. He is the wonderful counselor that is able to give wisdom to a broken world, to give it hope, and to give it to a place of restoration one day. So let me ask you, is Christ your wonderful counselor? Do you go to him? Do you go to his word for advice and for wisdom? Hear his words. Come unto me, all ye who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Go to him. Hear his words Trust his lead. Follow his plan. Christ is our wonderful counselor in whatever circumstances we personally and the world itself is needing. And at Christmas time, the wonderful counselor came to be the Savior of our world and your world. I'll see you tomorrow as we continue with Christ as our wonderful counselor.